When I listen to you, there is an urgency to change. When I return home, it fades. What am I to do? When I listen to you, there is an urgency to change. When I return home, it fades. What am I to do? Well, what are you to do? Is the urgency to change influenced or pointed out by the speaker, and therefore you, while you are here, you are driven into a corner. And when you leave, naturally, you are no longer in the corner. That means you are being influenced, challenged, driven, persuaded. And when all that is gone, you are where you were. Right? Now, what is one to do? Please think it out, let's think it out, let's seek it out, the right answer to this. What is one to do? I come to this gathering from a distant place. It's a lovely day. I put up a tent and I'm really interested. I've read not only what the speaker has said and written, but I've read a great deal. I've followed the Christian concepts, the Buddhist investigation, the Hindu mythology. I've also done different forms of meditation. The TM, the Tibetan, the Hindu, the Buddhist, the Zen. But I'm dissatisfied with all those. And I come here and I listen. And am I prepared to listen completely? I cannot listen completely if I bring all my knowledge here. I cannot listen or learn or comprehend completely if I belong to some sect. If I am attached to one particular concept and I want to add what has been said here to that also. Right? I must come, if I'm serious, with a free mind, with a mind that says, let's find out, for God's sake. Not, I want to add what you are saying to what already I know. You following all this? So what is one's attitude about all this? The speaker has been saying constantly, freedom is absolutely necessary. Psychological freedom first, not physical freedom that you have in these countries, except in the totalitarian countries. So without inward freedom, which can only come about when one understands one's conditioning. The conditioning which is both cultural, religious, economic, social, physical. And can one be free of that? Free primarily the psychological conditioning. One fact which is that you are no longer an individual. The very word individual means undivided, not broken up. And we are. That we are not individuals. So will you move away from that conditioning? Me first, everybody else second. So, what is difficult in all this is that we cling to something so deeply that we are unwilling to let go. One has studied various things, and one is attracted to a particular thing, particular psychological, something or other. And one goes into it, studies it, and finds about, oh, there is a great deal in it, and sticks to it. And then comes here and listens and adds what he has heard to that. Then it becomes a melange, a mixture of everything, right? Aren't we doing that? So our minds become very confused. And for the time being, when you are in the tent, that confusion is somewhat pushed away or less. And when you leave, it's back there again. So can one be aware of this confusion, not only while you are here, but when you are home, when you are at home, which is much more important than being clear here. Nobody cares if you are or you're not. But when you go back home to face all that business, going to the office every day for the rest of your life, you understand what it all means? Day after day, day after day. Coming home, children, the worry, all that goes on. So what does it all indicate? We have intelligence to solve technological problems. The mind, the problem-solving mind. We all have it. And that is not intelligence. The capacity to think clearly, objectively, and know the limitation of thinking, To know, to be aware of the limitation of thinking is the beginning of intelligence. I wonder if you follow this. We worship thinking. The more cleverly we can think, the greater we seem to be. All the philosophers who spin a lot of theories, but whereas if we could observe our own confusion, our own individual narrow way of looking at life, at home, not here, to be aware of all that, and to see how thought is perpetually creating problems. Thought creates the image, and that image divides. To see that is intelligence. To see danger is intelligence. To see psychological dangers is intelligence. But apparently, we don't see those things. That means somebody has to goad you all the time. Persuade you, push you, drive you, ask you, beg you, do something or other all the time to make one aware of oneself. And move from there, not just stay there. And I'm afraid there is nobody who's going to do that. Even the most enlightened human being. Then you become his slave. You understand? So if one has the vitality, physical vitality, the psychological energy which is now being dissipated in conflict, in worry, in chattering, in endless gossip, not only with others, with oneself, this endless chattering, all that dissipates energy, the psychological energy. And that energy is needed to observe ourselves in the mirror of relationship. And we're all related to somebody or other. And to observe there and discover the illusions, the images, the absurdity, the idiocies, then out of that freedom comes intelligence which will show the way of our life. Right? Are we moving together?